What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Kalen Jones. This is day 2 of God's Great Love. Today I'm going to talk about the parable of the lost son. Most of y'all know him as the prodigal son. I'm going to read a few verses here that explains what I'm going to talk about. And as I do that, I'll stop in between a few times and explain how I feel this is being said. Alright, so first, reading from Luke 15, 11, and we'll see where I go. Alright, so starting it at verse 11. And he said, a certain man had 2 sons. A younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that I have felleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into the far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. By it saying he wasted his substance, he's saying he spent all of his money, all of the money his father gave him, and he wasted it by riotous living, by betting, gambling, spending it on things that were not necessary, that were not needed. And when he had spent all, there came a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in want. By that it's saying he had nothing when the famine came. He had nothing, no money, no anything. So now he's a beggar. Now he's wanting. He's wanting more and more things. I'll continue. Verse 15, it says, and he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields and fed swine, and he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough to spare, and I perish with hunger? By that he's saying he ate with the pigs. He fed and ate with the pigs because no man had enough to give him. The person that hired him did not have enough to give him. So he ate with the pigs. He slept with the pigs, is what that's saying. Okay. For continuing on 18, it says here, I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and I am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. Now I want to pause here for a second. Just going to pause here for a second. Think about what that just said. Think about that. I'm going to read it again. Alright, I'm going to read it again, and I want you to listen to what's being said. And he came to himself. He saw himself and said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare? They have enough for themselves and to give away. And I perish with hunger. I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee. I have sinned against heaven and before thee. I have sinned before heaven and before thee. Alright? And no more worthy to be called thy son. make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and he came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him. And with compassion, he had compassion, and ran and fell on him. Ran and fell his neck and kissed him. His father ran. He ran out to him and kissed him. He welcomed him back. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and I am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said to his servants, Bring forth the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet, and bring hither the fatted calf, and kill it, and let us eat to be merry. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and he is found. And thy began to be merry. Now his elder son was in the field, and he came and drew nigh to his house. He heard music and dancing, and he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. Verse 27, it goes on to say, And he said unto him, Thy brother has come, and thy father has killed the fatted calf, because he hath received him safe and sound, and he was hungry and would not go in. Therefore came his father out and entreated him. His father came out to him. He did not want to come in. He didn't feel worthy to be in the presence of his father, but his father ran to him. I'm gonna stop right there I'm gonna keep going. And this is talking about the older son. And he was angry and would not go in. Therefore he came. I'm sorry. I'm going to start at 29. The older son is mad, by the way, if you haven't figured that out yet. Verse 29. And he was answering and said to his father, Lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgressed I at any time thy commandment, and yet thou never gavest me a kid, that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as thy son was come, with hath devoured thy living with harlots, thou hast killed for him and ate the fatted calf. And he said unto him, Son, thou art ever with me, and that I have this time. It was meant that we should make merry and be glad, for thy brother was dead and alive again, and was lost and now is found. What that is saying is, it doesn't matter to God if you leave him, because like I said before in day one, he is always there. He has never left you. But in this story, it's saying, my son, my daughter, my child, my greatest creation, my beautiful creation, if you leave me, I will not wait for you to come back. I will run to you. I will kiss you. I will give you the best robe. I will feed you. I will bring you in as if you never left. You will no longer serve me. Now, by serve me, I don't mean you won't be a servant of God, but you will be called a child of God. You will follow God. You will follow his word. And I believe that's a strong passage, because many of us fall short of the glory of God. All of us fall short to the glory of God. But he's saying, even though you might fall a little bit shorter than another person, when I see you, I will run to you. I will open my arms. I will hug you tight. And I will say, my daughter, my son, my child, you have come home. You have returned. And then it goes on to say that the brother got angry with his father, because his brother has been working out there in the fields doing everything his younger brother has not done. And yet, he kills the fatted calf. He gives him the best robe. He welcomes him back into the home. And angry is this brother. angry. I don't get. See, we all fall short from the glory of God, but you cannot get angry when someone comes back. You cannot get jealous. You cannot hate someone for changing for God. You can't talk bad about someone that's changed for God. And I believe that's what he's trying to say here. Now, like the Father says, he says, verse 32, it was meet that we should make merry and be glad, for this thy brother was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now is found. Doesn't that remind you of something? I was blind, but now I see. I was lost, but now I am found. He was found. He was lost. He was out there. He was sleeping with pigs. He was eating what the pigs eat. He was sleeping with them. But now he is found. He was lost, but he is found. And I like it when he says, Father, I have sinned in the eyes of God and in the eyes of thee. I have sinned against God and I have sinned against my father. It says in the Bible, honor thy father and mother, for this is the first commandment that God is giving you. He didn't honor his father, and he knew that, so he said, do not let me in. I want to be a servant of you. I want to be your servant. Because remember, the servants had bread and more to give away. More to spare, more to save. And he said, I want to be a servant. I don't feel worthy enough to be in the presence of you. I don't feel worthy to be called your son. But remember, his father said, servant, get the best robe. Kill the fatted pig. For I have my son back. I have my son, and for girls it'd be daughter. I have my child. My child is back. He's safe. He was dead, but now my child is alive. My child is here. My child has come back home. That means a lot. That means a lot. To know that you can go. You can leave God's side for a long time, but then you realize, you find yourself just like the prodigal son did. You find yourself lost, confused, maybe even alone. You find yourself somewhere, and you come back to your senses, and you're like, wait, whoa, stop. This is not me. This is not who I am. This is not who I am. I gotta pull it together, because if I don't, something's not right. Remember, we all fall short to the grace of God, and yet this kid, he says, Father, I have sinned against you and thy God. The God who forgives, the God who loves, the God who is always there. I have sinned against you and thy God. I wear this ring right here, and I read it every day. I can do all things through Christ who has strengthened me. Philippians 4:13. You have to remember, God is gonna give you the strength you need. All you have to do is take that strength, say a prayer to, sing a song praising the Lord, and He will give you the strength you need to come back. So you want to come back home. You ask, how do I find myself? How do I come back home? Well, that's easy. That's easy.